Good evening, and we begin at 5 with final preparations now underway for President Biden's visit to Portland. Air Force One in the air right now, headed from Orange County, California to the Rose City, part of a West Coast swing that Democrats hope will bring an election boost to their candidates, most notably Tina Kotek in that razor-thin race for Oregon governor. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. The president is expected to land in Portland in the next hour and a half or so. We have full team coverage for you, including the traffic impacts. But let's start with Alma McCarty at the Portland Air National Guard base at PDX, where they are waiting for the president's arrival. Alma?
Well, Laurel and David, it has been nearly 40 years since Oregon has elected a Republican governor, and now Christine Drazan is certainly trying to change that, with many polls at this point showing her in the slight lead. And that is why President Biden is coming to our state. He is going to have a volunteer event later on this afternoon, this evening, with some Democrats, and then tomorrow he will be hosting a fundraiser for Tina Kotek tomorrow afternoon. Now, we spoke recently with the Pacific University political science professor Jim Moore. This reminds him of 2010, when former Governor John Kitzhaber was going for a third term. It was a tight race, and come October, President Barack Obama touched down in Portland.
And I think that's what Biden's visit is doing here, and what Kotek wants it to do here. You know, what his presence does, it says it's not just about Oregon issues, it's a nationally important election.
Now, Biden will also give a speech about lower prescription drug costs and tout the recently passed Inflation Reduction Act. We spoke with a White House senior communications advisor about that speech.
He will also, remind individuals in Oregon and across the country of what's at stake here, and that Republicans in Congress have made it their top priority to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act, which will hike up costs for millions of seniors and American families that really rely on those cost-saving measures.
Now, here's a look at the timeline of events. We just got this recently, within the last hour or so. The president is expected to land around 6:30 this evening. Then he has an event with Oregon Democrats at 7:10 tonight. Tomorrow, the president will give the speech about those lower prescription costs at noon, happening at the East Portland Community Center. Then later on, 1:45, he's hosting a fundraiser for Tina Kotek before leaving around 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, and he's heading back to Delaware. We will be on the tarmac, though, when Air Force One arrives later in just a few hours, or an hour and a half or so, and we will bring you all of the updates on air and online. Back to you.
We'll check back with you then. Thank you, Alma. A number of downtown Portland streets are already closed in anticipation of the president's visit. The White House also doesn't typically confirm where the president will stay overnight, but we do know a lot of roads are blocked around the Dunaway Hotel. Catherine Cook joins us now from downtown tonight. Catherine.
Laurel, right now we're at Southwest 6th and Taylor, one of several closure points happening in downtown Portland right now. And I have an important update to share with our viewers. Up until about 15 minutes ago, those closures were only impacting automobile traffic. But now, unless you're staying at one of these hotels, they're also impacting foot traffic. I want to draw your attention to this graph that shows the broader perspective here, kind of a tic-tac-toe shape, and right in the center is the Dunaway Hotel. Taylor and Yamhill are both closed from Broadway to 4th, and 5th and 6th Avenues are closed from Salmon to Morrison. And we're told by Secret Service that those closures should be in place until about 6 p.m. on Saturday. Back here live, you can see members of the Portland Police Bureau as well as the Secret Service are trying to secure spots to keep folks out and to help them understand what's happening. And we've talked with folks who are working at neighboring businesses, be it hotels. They tell us, they're just trying to go with the flow here today. Nobody had planned for this. This is all very fluid. But again, I think the biggest takeaway here tonight is if you can avoid avoid downtown Portland, whether it be here in downtown Portland proper or getting here because of all the street closures. That would be a good idea. We'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, flexibility is the word. Catherine Cook downtown. All right, let's check in with Chris McGinnis now, tracking traffic and transit while the president is in town. Chris, I mean, maybe this is an understatement, but it's going to be a really busy 24 hours or so.
Yeah, of course. And of course, Friday afternoon traffic is typically bad anyway. This is a live look, I-205 over near Killingsworth. The biggest impact, though, right now, and has been for much of the day, is the impact on TriMet, specifically on downtown, Max, and bus service. All routes that go through downtown are currently disrupted and will be through tomorrow afternoon. Another big one, and this is important with the president's arrival in maybe less than 90 minutes, expect major red line delays between Gateway and PDX around the arrival time this evening and then around departure time tomorrow. So that impacts, again, anyone going to or coming from the airport. There are a lot of impacts. Check ahead on trimet.org for all of them because, believe me, there are many. All right, back to the roads right now. Friday afternoon traffic typically slow, right? I did want to point out, though, as we look again over the east side, this is I-205 near Killingsworth. We'll switch gears, take a little farther south towards Stark. It's not a slam dunk that the presidential motorcade will take the freeway, but they probably will. And when they do, typically what they do is they have a rolling blockade on the freeway in advance and on the backside of that presidential motorcade, which means the freeway in the direction of travel will be shut down for probably 30, 40 minutes at a time. And so when that happens, we'll bring you live video of that because, of course, that will have some major impacts on the roads at that time. Right now, just kind of standard Friday afternoon, slow and go. David?
Middle of the Friday evening rush. Thanks, Chris. Stay with KGW for continuing coverage of the president's visit. Laurel and I will be here along with Pat Doris as Air Force One makes its final approach into Portland in the 6 o'clock hour. That's going to be live right here, as well as streaming on KGW.com and the KGW app.
Now to Portland's homeless crisis, and Mayor Ted Wheeler is set to announce a new plan next week. And according to reports, that plan will include some sweeping changes. Tim Gordon is in the newsroom, and Tim, Willamette Week broke this story.
Laurel, they did, and they report the mayor will announce a proposal that bans any unsanctioned camping in the city and builds some very large sanctioned camps as alternatives. Portland's homeless crisis is just about everywhere, with tents and other temporary shelters on sidewalks and other open spaces across the city. So according to Willamette Week, the mayor is set to announce a ban on that, but also suggest 3 500-person homeless campuses, as he's calling them. With each campus divided into 4 125-person camps, the city would look to have them managed by outside contractors. Now, there's no indication yet where those mega camps might go or how an unsanctioned camping ban would be enforced. So there's more to learn here, but some of the folks we talked to in Old Town today have heard enough already. Most street roots newspaper vendors know about homelessness, and they get that unsanctioned camping long term is not good for anyone, but say neither are mega camps.
I can understand that. But in order to tackle that issue, you have to have a solution first. And this is not a solution. It's not a solution at all.
It's an entrapment. Like Rachel was saying, we need to have a solution to end the problem.
Now, we also got some reaction from the Multnomah County Chair this afternoon. She shared a letter she got from Mayor Wheeler and Commissioner Ryan on this. It generally lays out the plan and puts responsibility for the camps on the county. To that, Kavori wrote us to say, if the mayor's office wants to clean up this city and enforce time, place, and manner laws, they don't have to hide behind me or anyone else. They can just do it. So a lot going on, and maybe not the smoothest pre-rollout before an official announcement that the mayor confirms is coming next week. We'll be sure to follow this and see how that goes. Laurel?